Hello, foodie fans. Welcome to the Big Food Talk, produced by Tough Monkey Entertainment. I'm your host, Sal Conca. This show supports restaurants, chefs, and food pioneers with your help. Head to bigfoodtalk.com to make your donation today, or check out our fun apparel line with proceeds going directly to participating restaurants. Special thanks to the Long Island Food Council, Dine LI Facebook group, and Yelp Long Island for supporting this episode. Today I'm speaking with John, the owner of Whiskey Down Diner in Farmingdale, New York. Whiskey Down is a family-run business that puts a modern twist on traditional diner fare. With over 50 whiskeys in stock and Boston cream pancakes on the menu, it's a hotspot you won't want to miss. Coming up on their one-year anniversary, John is doing his best to support their staff and keep the business going through these difficult times. Let's hear John's story. Hey, John, welcome to the Big Food Talk. Excited to speak with you today. I've been to your restaurant many times. How are you guys doing through this crisis right now?
Hey, thanks for having me. We appreciate it, and hope everything's going good with you. All things considered, obviously, we all know, could be said over and over again, how strange of a time it is. But we're weathering the storm like many other restaurants are. We're luckily have enough business that we're staying busy. We started off small and built up to the point where now we're open 7 days a week, and we're, taking a good amount of orders. So, like I said, there could be a lot worse going on, and we're lucky to be still doing some business.
Absolutely. And, every business has had to make decisions about how many days to be open and, how much staff to bring in and keep on staff and cooking in the kitchen and all that type of thing. Let's go back. You guys are fairly new to the neighborhood, so to speak. When did you guys open the doors at Whiskey Down?
We opened exactly on June 5th of last year. So our one-year anniversary is actually coming up quite soon. We had a lot of delays. We were supposed to originally be open earlier, but, things always happen, especially in construction and everything. And so we ended up pulling the trigger, opening date June 5th, which is actually our parents' anniversary. So it was like another little cool thing, too, being as it were a family-owned business.
Yeah, and it's you and your sister that primarily run this restaurant, but I know your family has a rich history in owning restaurants and diners. Like, where did you guys, or where did your parents have restaurants prior?
Well, we grew up in the Olympic Diner in Deer Park. That's my dad has been an owner for close to 40 years. So, he has a tremendous amount of experience in the diner business, obviously. And me and my sisters both grew up working there from, as early as we could. So we learned a lot of how to operate and things like that over the years, and kind of also, worked in a couple other places and got some ideas. And eventually we realized that we wanted to have our own concept and our own thing that we were going to, expand into. And then, this happened. It wasn't something that happened overnight. It was definitely a culmination of a lot of thoughts and hard work and,
Absolutely. What is the concept of Whiskey Down Diner? It's not your traditional diner fare. It's this blend of traditional and new take on taste and things like that. So how did you guys formulate this concept? What was it all about?
Right. Well, like I said, we did grow up in the diner business. So we have a lot of that kind of just naturally flowing through us. And, we've been accustomed to working in that type of environment for so long. But also, there has been a growing, and this isn't just my own theory, this is a lot of diner owners and, people that have observed over the years, that there might need to be some sort of an update with it in terms of like the business model. And, they were so successful for so many years, especially in New York, Long Island. But, obviously as times change, business changes, competition changes, everything changes. We just, we felt like there needed to be certain tweaks made. We didn't want, it's hard to kind of completely, you don't want to try to do too much and reinvent something completely. We also wanted to stick to what we knew to a certain degree and not veer too far off of what like we had our expertise in, because everyone has their comfort zone and things that they're known for doing well, but you also, like we said, you need to adapt, you need to grow. So we thought that this was ultimately the best place to take it, and we had a couple ideas that didn't take root, but this eventually became the thing that we did. Like I said, we grew up working in the business. My dad knows, everything pretty much in the actual diner business. But this concept itself is a little bit more of a hybrid between a diner and a bar restaurant, which, anyone who's in the industry knows the difference between what those things are.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it was certainly a challenge, still is a challenge to this day. I mean, we've made it almost to a year, which is great. But there's, like we said, with any new concept and any new idea, and you're bringing in certain things, you're going to face certain challenges. But I guess to address, sorry, I mean, I know I went roundabout, but the best way I could describe our concept is, for people who don't know, is it would be like sort of a modern twist on a diner, where you have some of the traditions to it, and the availability of breakfast at all times of the day, and things like that, but also in a little bit different of a setting. We have a full bar, we have a smaller menu, which is a very big thing that we
Yep.
Had to change from the typical diner, which contains generally over 100 items easily.
Pages and pages of food to comb through. That's one of the reasons I'm a guy that never really liked the diner. My mom always wanted to go to the diner, and I was like, I think it was intimidating to me as a customer. It was like, I just don't know what I want. There's too many options.
They kept expanding to be able to have a choice for every single person, which sounds like a good idea. And it was, to an extent, because any single family and group of people could all go and they could all get what they wanted at any different time of the day. So great, that sounds great. But then the next problem with that is quality of it and freshness and maintaining all of that. It becomes a very big challenge.
Absolutely. So I know we have the whiskeys on the menu as well, and that's a big cornerstone. I know you're a whiskey guy, bourbon guy. You've given me a couple of shots to taste once in a while. How many whiskeys do you carry at the Whiskey Down?
Right. I mean, at our peak, we probably have about like close to 50 options or so. I mean, I haven't obviously placed an order in a little while due to everything, but yeah, we built up a pretty nice collection. Still learning and still growing in that aspect as well.
Yeah, it's cool to be able. I'm a bourbon guy. I love being able to come in there, do brunch, have a nice bourbon, especially something that's rare, unique. Something that you're looking for to taste something different, rather than the standards. I mean, everybody carries Makers or Bullet, things like that. I mean, I love Bullet bourbon too, and it's good to be able to have those. But it's nice to be able to find some of those rare finds.
It's also another way that we wanted to differentiate ourselves too, because in terms of the bar scene, and the craft beers exploded onto the scene, and I'm a big craft beer drinker as well, but there's a lot of places that have so many available, especially here in Farmingdale too. There's great places. Croxley's is known for forever, and we have our own brewery over here, Lithology. But yeah, kind of, in addition to me personally enjoying the whiskeys, I thought it was a nice kind of way to specialize too, because there's not a lot of places, like you said, where of course you could always get your standard 2 or 3 kinds, but for a person who knows and wants to get something else, or someone who is just curious and wants to expand their taste and their knowledge about it, so it's cool.
Absolutely. And I think what's great about the whole setup is, well, one, it's a smaller footprint than a traditional diner, right? So the menu is smaller, the footprint is smaller, but when you walk in, you feel very comfortable. It looks familiar. It feels like a diner when you walk in. It actually has some of that old school diner, even like, back to the 50s and 60s look, obviously on
Right.
purpose, I'm sure. And, so you just get this really nice, inviting feel when you come in, and the service has always been great. You guys make a great meal. The food is always on point. I mean, from your basics, right? Like you said, bacon, egg, and cheese, those types of things, down to some of your really hot menu items. And so, have one of my influencer friends, Ricky, Food Life 51631. He wants to know, before all this happened, what was hot on the menu? What were some of your best sellers?
Um, okay. Well, breakfast wise, I mean, like you said, you could get anything standard from a couple eggs and a stack of pancakes. We did do a couple things. I mean, we have a little bit of a unique pancake recipe that was actually created by my dad years ago. That's why they're on the menu as Pete's pancakes. So we did a couple twists on those. One being the lemon blueberry pancakes, which got very popular, and the Boston cream stack, which is delicious, but it's more of a dessert than a breakfast, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's heavy, but it's sweet, but it's delicious. It's something you might get, to share with a couple people. But and then in addition, a couple of the breakfast items that we're really always selling. Our steak and eggs were kind of very unique in the way that they came about, and our breakfast poutine, which again is a very heavy thing. It's crunchy sweet tots and regular potato tots, homemade cheese sauce, a little bit more Jack and cheddar cheese, bacon crumbs. So there's a lot going on, and it's definitely very heavy. But we do also have lighter and healthier options.
Yeah, so I know my mom comes in. She loves getting the bowls. You guys have the quinoa bowls now for like some healthier options, things like that, which are always outstanding. I know I love some of the dessert options. We definitely get like the blueberry pancakes. We'll order breakfast, and then we'll share them and split up the blueberry pancakes as a dessert almost at the end of the meal. That type of thing.
Exactly, it's a breakfast dessert
Yeah.
in ways.
I haven't had the Boston cream stack though, so now I'm curious. Are you still offering that for delivery takeout right now?
We do have that, yeah, and that's made with, mostly all the things that we add to the things are made in house. We have a very rigorous prep setup, which is also, it's kind of standard to diners, but in a way, it's a lot more hands-on and a lot more prep heavy and stuff like that. So, like the chocolate ganache on top is, again, it's made in house. It's real. It's delicious, and the layers of custard in between the pancakes. It's definitely something you have to give it a try. Like I said, I obviously I wouldn't eat it every day. But the thing is too, when we first had, we're sitting down with the concept and everything, and we sat down with our chefs originally, and they presented us with so many ideas, and we wanted to be like I said to you earlier, have a limited menu. The last thing we wanted to do was have that huge, too, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, too ambitious where you can't really get everything out when you need to, and also you just can't rotate it, you can't keep it fresh. So it was tough, very tough. We had a lot of decisions, and it's probably even a little bit bigger now than I wanted it to be, but we got it down substantially. So
Well, being in the diner business for so long, I haven't done this before, but I wanted to have a little fun today. I wanted to get your take on what foods you like, so I planned like a little bit of a lightning round. So these are gonna be just quick, like one word answers for you. Just get your take on what you like and what you're eating over at the diner. So, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, man. Let's see. John's take, lightning round: coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Bacon or sausage?
That's tough, but bacon.
Waffles or pancakes?
Pancakes.
Scramble or omelet?
I'm omelet guy.
Bagel or muffin?
Another tough choice, but I'll go bagel.
All right. You're a Long Island guy. We got to go bagel, right?
Yeah.
All right. Next up, breakfast or brunch?
You got a brunch. It's 2020.
Exactly, right? I mean, breakfast, what is even breakfast these days, right? I mean,
yeah, listen, everything. Brunch is pretty much encapsulates it all. So,
burger or fried chicken?
ooh, I'll go burger on that. But there's a lot of toss ups on that. I know
That's why these are the tough questions, man. The people want to know.
Yeah.
So, fries or tater tots?
I'll go fries.
All right. Bloody Mary or mimosa?
Bloody.
Bourbon or scotch?
Bourbon.
All right, my man. Well, I think we line up on a lot of things, except I'm going fried chicken. But and I've
Bro,
had.
listen, I enjoy fried chicken very much, man.
I hear you. Well, I wanted to add some levity to this conversation because I know there's some serious things we have to talk about. I mean, things have
Yeah.
changed. You guys have pivoted. Diner, takeout. How have you guys pivoted? What does the staff look like? How are you guys preparing for this? What are you guys doing now?
Yeah. Well, first off, I mean, I want to address the fact that one of the hardest things from day one of this whole thing was handling the staff. I mean, we employ a decent amount of people, again, like most restaurants and small businesses do at this time. And unfortunately, even with being able to open for the takeout and delivery, which is keeping us afloat, still leads a lot of people jobless, and it's tough. And even the people that we can give hours to and maintain their employment, it's not what they're used to seeing at all in their weekly paycheck. And I mean, everyone understands it's the way it is. It's just tough, especially, a lot of these people are supporting families, and this is the type of things that, being a small business owner, you kind of always take pride in, that you have so, like, again, growing up, that's one thing I learned always from my dad. And we always had so many, people say that the restaurant business is very high turnover, which it is factually, but I knew so many people growing up that worked there from when I was basically a baby to an adult. And then here, we've only been open for a year, but still the majority of our kitchen staff has been here since day one. And, we pride ourselves on that, and having that, it's important to us to keep our staff happy and to treat them as more of just a staff member or anything like that. So that, I mean, it's tough to tell people, I don't have the hours for you, or I don't have close to the amount of hours you have. It's definitely been one of the hardest things. And I mean, that being said, we are lucky enough that we have been able to be open, and we have been able to service, the local community in some ways during this time. And we really kind of, especially like me and my sister, kind of learned a lot, luckily, about the takeout business from working at Olympic previously, because it was very big there. Mm-hmm. And in a place that has food that's kind of quick, it's a little bit easier if there's systems. Obviously, that's the big thing. And a lot of people, when this whole thing happened, had to learn all these new systems for takeout. And luckily, we kind of already had a good foundation for that, where we knew what worked. We knew how to get food out quickly. We knew how to pack, and like little things like packing things up, and all the paper goods and all that stuff. Like, so we were kind of already well educated in that, so that helped. But then again, of course, you can't prepare for anything. And then nowadays, also, there's the third-party delivery systems. We have DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. Mm-hmm. And again, luckily, we integrated those systems in before this happened, because a lot of people didn't until after. And then it just became even more messy. And there's undoubtedly errors with that, just like there's errors with human error with the takeout orders, which we try to take pride in making as little errors as we can. But again, it's it's impossible to avoid.
Well, like you said, I think pre-planning, like even this week is, this is going to release after Mother's Day, but this weekend is Mother's Day. You said you're already sold out and booked up. I mean, taking pre-orders right now, I think helps the restaurants manage as best as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's something that we really honestly had very little to no experience in the whole pre-ordering thing, because again, coming from the diner mold, there wasn't really, we never took pre-orders. And, so we kind of did that the first time really we did this past week with Cinco de Mayo. We did some special orders and some specialty boxes. So that was kind of like a good little test run before Mother's Day, which is going to be like the, graduated version of that. Cause we have 75 orders currently. We just had to shut them down. Unfortunately, I mean, we we didn't know what to expect. Again, this is our first year going through everything in this new concept. So everything, as much as we have experience in, everything is being done for the first time at Whiskey Down Diner in Farmingdale. So
Yeah.
we have all the orders totaled out, ready to go and it's just going to be a ton of prep, which, like you said, will hopefully make it easier, but it's still going to be a chaotic day, to say the least.
Absolutely, I know. And John, I really appreciate you coming on and talking with me today about your restaurant. And I wish you and your family nothing but continued success in the future. Where can everybody go find Whiskey Down? Is it Instagram, your websites? Want to give everybody the handles and websites that they can find you at?
Absolutely, and I appreciate you having me on. It's a great thing that you're doing, and I know it's tough, especially now. But yeah. So website whiskeydown.diner.com. Instagram and Facebook, just Whiskey Down Diner. Very simple. I mean, we post on Instagram and Facebook daily. That's the best way to find updates, get pictures of our food. And also on our menu, on our website, you could find our up-to-date takeout menu, which is pretty similar to our original menu that we had always, but we had to sacrifice a few items just for, to make things easier. And also there's links to all the delivery services on our website as well.
Awesome. Well, John, thanks again. I'm a big fan. I'll see you again soon, and I can't wait to have some more of your food. So thanks for coming. Thanks
Looking
for talking
forward
today.
to it. Hopefully we could get this sooner rather than later and have some outdoor seating and all that. It's another big part.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've heard that, it's a good idea to maybe be talking to your town supervisors, things like that, about shutting down main streets, opening up the streets to be able to have more curbside and curbside seating and takeout and other things where we can just open up the streets where, if open air seating is going to be a benefit to restaurants, then we should push for that.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, in tough times like this, creative decisions are made and people come up with a lot of great ideas and things to adapt, and that's all you can do. You got to adapt.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
John.
I appreciate it.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks for tuning in to The Big Food Talk, produced by Tough Monkey Entertainment. Subscribe on iTunes and wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram for behind-the-scenes takes, or watch complete episodes on YouTube. Don't forget to make a donation at bigfoodtalk.com.